In this episode, you'll learn 8 more common colloquial expressions so that you can speak English in a more natural way. Welcome to
Aprender Inglés with Reza and Craig.
Hi, I'm Reza.
And my name's Craig.
And with nearly 50 years of teaching between us, we'll help you improve your English and take it to the next level. How's it going, Craig?
It's going very well, my friend. It's a real pleasure to see you again this week. I'm looking forward to recording this week's podcast, and it's really good to see you. How are you?
I'm feeling good myself, and same here. A pleasure to be here and recording. I don't think I've ever recorded a podcast in my life that I didn't enjoy, and I hope it continues.
Me too. I'm pleased to hear it. First this week, we have a message from our friend Danielle from Mexico.
Hello, Reza. Hello, Greg. This is Daniel from Mexico again. I want to apologize for my previous voice message because it was very wrong. I don't know why, but the audio quality was awful. Anyways, in this time, I want to ask you, what do you think about the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020? And what do you think about the Britain team in these Olympic Games? Until the next time, guys, you two are the business.
Thank you, Danielle. It was really good to hear from you again. And don't worry about the audio quality too much. We try to clean the audio up and make it more listenable as much as we can. But we understand you're probably out walking the dog or working out in the gym or driving in your car. Although don't record messages driving in your car. That's very dangerous. But we understand you're doing things usually when you're recording your message. We do appreciate good audio quality, but as long as we can understand what you're saying, then we publish it on the podcast. So don't worry, and thank you for apologizing.
Thanks very much, Danielle. This message you sent is certainly very easy to understand, and Craig's quite right. The most important thing is your message, not the audio quality. We'll sort it out. We'll be able to hear it. Don't worry. It was a very good message, though I would say, Craig, that there are 1 or 2 things we could help Danielle with.
Well, there was one small thing I did notice in your message, Danielle, connected to a preposition. You said in this time, although we wouldn't say in this time, just this time. So this time the audio should be better, or this time I've tried to improve the quality. So not in this time, but just this time.
And you mentioned the British team. You said Team Britain, I think. But we normally say Team GB, although you could say Team Great Britain, but we don't say Team Britain. So Team GB is the most common way of saying it, or the British team.
And you asked us what we thought of the Olympic Games in Tokyo, and I didn't really pay much attention to it this time, Danielle. I do enjoy the Olympic Games normally, but this time I thought it was a mistake that they held the Olympic Games. When you have a competition, the collocation is to hold. So you hold a championship or you hold the Olympic Games. And I thought it was a mistake to hold the Olympic Games in the middle of a pandemic. So I wasn't really that interested. I did watch 1 or 2 sports, but it didn't really grab me this time. It didn't really grab or take my attention. And I know Team GB won quite a few medals, so obviously I was happy about that. But again, I didn't really get too involved this time. What about you, Reza?
I feel exactly the same as you, Craig, because it was during the pandemic, and above all because, if I understand correctly, about half the citizens of Tokyo didn't want it. So don't force a city to hold the Olympic Games if they don't want to. So I feel they should have respected the wishes of the citizens of Tokyo, and about half did not want it. So to me, it seems very silly to go ahead with it.
And you didn't actually say what your opinion is, Danielle, about the Olympic Games. So if you want to send us another message, then tell us what you think. And when you're listening to this, the Olympic Games were quite a long time ago now, and that's because we had a little bit of a rest over the summer. So this message is appearing in the podcast quite a few weeks after I actually received it, Danielle. That's the reason. Next, we have a message from Quique from Alicante in Spain.
Hello, Reza. Hello, Craig. This is Kike from Alicante, Spain. You don't know me because this is the first time I'm getting in touch with you. I actually wanted to do it a long time ago, but I could never get around it. I've been listening to you for about 2 years, the time I've been learning English, and I consider myself a real AIRC-aholic. I eventually committed myself to send you a voice message if I passed my CIE exam. I took it 3 weeks ago, and not only did I pass it, but because of my good grades, I also got a C2 certificate. So I just wanted to thank you. Your podcasting has been part and parcel of my English learning process. I've listened to most of your podcasts while commuting or going for a stroll. I've just finished episode 356, where you talk about gardening vocabulary and expressions. Thanks to your podcasts, I've learned and laughed a lot too, and I think this is the secret to their great success. Good content, a great deal of passion, and a fine English sense of humor. So that's it. Craig, Reza, once again, thank you. I feel really grateful. Keep doing such an amazing work, and I wish both of you the best in your personal and professional lives. Bye!
Kike, thank you so much for your message. And before anything else, Reza and I would both like to congratulate you on passing your C1 exam, getting a grade A, which makes you, yes, you're right, your level is C2. So that's fantastic. Well done.
Yes, thank you very much, Kike, for that very, very good and clear message, in which I would particularly highlight your very, very good use of intonation. I really like the way you make your voice go up and down, you emphasize certain words and phrases, and it really has a very positive effect.
And I particularly want to highlight one or two expressions that Kike used because I think everyone can learn from these expressions. He used some lovely phrasal verbs. The first one was to get in touch with, which means to contact. So he waited, I think, 2 years before he got in touch with us. So when you get in touch with someone, you contact them. Also, get around to it, he said. To get around to something is to finally do something. It took me a long time, but I finally got around to sending a message. And Kike said I could never get around to it. I could never find the time to do it.
The audio quality was very good, but I have a doubt. Did you say, as I thought you did, not only did I pass it, or did you say not only did I pass it? I think you said passed. I think. And if you did, we need to change that, because the expression not only is followed by, we got the auxiliary, did, then the subject, I, and then of course the infinitive form of the verb, pass. I think you said passed it, but it should be not only did I pass it. I think. I could be wrong. It could be the audio quality. What did you hear, Craig?
I think I had passed it as well, yeah. So, yeah, you might want to focus on that, Kike. But lovely expressions I heard after that. You said your podcast has been part and parcel of my English learning process. If something is part and parcel of something, it's an integral piece of it. Obviously, pronunciation is part and parcel of learning a language. Another example, computer skills are part and parcel of my curriculum vitae, my CV, for example. So it's a part of something, but that's a lovely collocation, part and parcel of something.
And thank you for complimenting us on our amazing work. But you in fact said an amazing work. but it should be uncountable. So we don't say plus work. So you should have said amazing work without the an, uncountable.
And another expression I liked, going for a stroll. That word stroll is not very common. That's definitely an advanced word. S-T-R-O-L-L. If you go for a stroll, you go for a very relaxed walk. Not necessarily going to a particular place, a particular destination, but just walking because you enjoy it. You go out for a stroll. And thank you for being an AIRC-aholic, Kike. He's an AIRC-aholic, AIRC-oholic. That's Aprender Inglés con Reza y Craig. And Kike's been listening for a long time. So thanks for sending your message and letting us know about your lovely result.
Yeah, congratulations, Kike.
Next, we have a voice message from Carla, who's from Gran Canaria. And long-time listeners may remember that episode we did nearly 2 years ago now, back in October 2019, and Carla gave us the idea to speak about the Canary Islands. If you want to listen to that, go to inglespodcast.com/282. But we want to play Carla's original message from 2 years ago and listen carefully to her accent.
Hi Reza, hi Craig. I'm Carla from Gran Canaria in the Canary Islands. And well, I just wanted to say thank you very much because I've recently got my marks from my first certificate, which I did a month ago, and I had 177 points. And most of it is thanks to you guys because since I started to listen to your podcast, I've got better with my English. So thank you.
So that was Carla 2 years ago with a very good accent. To me, Craig, she almost sounds like a native English speaker from the southeast of England with that accent.
Yes, I identify Carla's accent from 2 years ago, definitely from the area where I grew up, the southeast of England. They call it estuary English, and when she said the word got, she had what we call a glottal stop, so the t was not very pronounced. It gets stuck or caught in the throat. Carla said got, and that's one of the characteristics of a southeastern accent, southeastern UK accent. Now listen to Carla, who is currently in Belfast.
Hi, Rez and Craig. It's been a while since my last voice message. I'm Carla from Gran Canaria, from the Canary Islands, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm here in Northern Ireland for a few months. I've been here for 2 months already, living near Belfast. I'm here as an au pair. I don't know if you know that term, but you can maybe talk about it in an episode. But anyways, I just wanted to let you know that because I knew Belfast and this Northern Ireland and all, because Reza is from there, and one day I investigated and all, but yeah, I'm here and I'm loving it. The weather's not the best, I have to say, but I love it all. The views are amazing. Belfast is a very nice city, and yeah, something curious about it here, I'm sure Reza knows it, of course, is that people use a lot the word we. It's very funny for me because everyone uses it with everything when they're talking. Something like, oh, look at this wee little dog, this wee dog. Do you want a wee piece of sandwich? With everything. And it's so funny. So yeah, hope you guys are okay and bye.
Did you notice the difference, Reza?
Oh, of course I did. Of course I did. How could I not? Wow. Carla, your accent has now changed. You've definitely got a Belfast accent. It's not just me. I think, Craig, you would immediately spot that as a Belfast accent as well, right?
I did. I loved the musical up and down of the voice and the very typical characteristics of a Northern Ireland or Belfast accent. And it's amazing to me how your accent's changed, Carla, since you've been living and working in Belfast.
You're doing that thing which people from Belfast do. In fact, in your message, I think you're doing it even more than how I do it because I've lived away from Belfast for so long. Your intonation sounds even stronger than mine. She's an au pair in Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland.
Northern
That's a
Ireland.
very Belfast thing to do. That's strange. No. At the end, it's very common in almost every sentence in Belfast, and you've got it. And I love it, obviously. Yeah, it's great to hear my own accent being taken up by foreign speakers.
So if listeners don't know, an au pair it's a French word, A-U, new word, P-A-I-R. What is an au pair? If you don't know, it's a helper who comes from a foreign country and works for a host family, actually lives in the house of a host family. And typically au pairs take care of children, so they help the family with childcare, and maybe they do some cooking, some cleaning, household tasks, and they receive some money for their personal use. And of course, they're also living in the house, they're eating in the house, so they don't have any expenses. And that's what Carla is doing over there in Belfast.
As Craig just mentioned there, Carla, you might be cooking for the host family. If you are cooking for them, please give them a treat. Please open their minds and their taste buds to mojo picon, that dish from the Canaries, which I love. Those little potatoes, little baby potatoes, and you have that spicy, garlicky, beautiful. So I love. Do you know mojo picon, Craig?
I don't know, but can you get potatoes in Belfast? Can you buy them there?
You might be able to get potatoes there. I'm afraid you're going to have to make the mojo picon sauce yourself, but we probably got potatoes. Oh, please let the kids try that, because that's one of my all-time favorite Spanish dishes, and they'll love you for it, Carla.
I did not know that the word "we" was so popular in Northern Ireland. I know it's very popular in Scotland. That's W-E-E, so 2 E's. And it means little, doesn't it? It means small. And is it common in Belfast?
Yes, it is. In fact, when I'm in Belfast, I would virtually never say the word little, because people don't. Saying little is being posh in Belfast. And why would you say little when we've got the word we? So I do say the word little when I'm in Spain or other places, and particularly if I'm speaking to other English speakers who are not from Belfast. However, when I'm having a friendly conversation, an informal conversation with somebody from Scotland, then I'll start saying we again, because they'll say it as well. Have you noticed Scottish people saying we?
Yes.
Also.
Yes, definitely. Although don't confuse the word we, W-E-E, the adjective, with we the verb and we the noun. So yes, the adjective is a diminutive. It does mean small. For example, you could say a wee baby, a small baby, or a little baby, or he's just a wee lad, or would you like a wee bit of cake? But to wee, or to go for a wee, is to urinate. Be careful with that confusion.
There's a very common collocation in Belfast. I'm sure Carla's heard it. You'll hear it a lot in Belfast. Don't be offended by it out of context. It might sound bad, but it's not meant to offend. It's the expression wee doll. D-O-L-L. Doll. Muñeca. But a wee doll in Belfast is a girl. So it's just a very, very common expression. It's like, look at that wee doll. What's she doing? Look at that girl. What's she doing? That wee doll. And people say it quickly because it's a collocation. So people say, look at that wee doll. And you might think it's a word, some strange word, which is wee doll.
What's a weedle?
No, it's a wee doll. And that is a very, very common expression. It's like in Valencia, people say, nena. Oye, nena. Hey, wee doll. Nena. If you live in Valencia, you hear this expression, nena. So any girl can be a nena. In Belfast, a girl is a wee doll.
So thank you very much for taking the time, Carla, to record and send your message. And if you have time, I don't know how busy you are over there, but if you have time, please send us another message and keep us informed, keep us up to date in what you're doing over there. What do you think of the food? You enjoying the food in Belfast? What are the kids like? What's your day like? We'd love to hear more about what you're doing in Belfast.
And let me refine my Belfast intonation to say thanks, Carla. Give me a second. Carla, thanks very much for your message, love. I really enjoyed it. Take care now.
So let's move on to our 8 common colloquial expressions for today. So part 6, and obviously if today's part 6, we've done 5 of these before. You can find details of the previous 5 podcasts about colloquial expressions by going to the website inglespodcast.com/383. Reza, what's our first expression today?
The first expression is a good expression to begin a conversation. What's up? That's right. What is up? But you would never say what is, because that sounds too formal. Because it's colloquial, we would always use the contraction of the verb to be. What's up?
And it can be used in some situations as a greeting when you first see someone. I might say, hey Reza, what's up? Which is similar to what's going on or what's happening, which is kind of like, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, what's up? What's new? What's going on? But it's not always used as a greeting, is it, Reza?
No, it can also mean, or you could substitute it for, what's wrong? So when there's some kind of problem or something doesn't look quite right or somebody doesn't look happy. For example, what if I said to Craig, hey, you look a bit down. What's up?
Oh, someone's just eaten my last chocolate biscuit.
Oh, that's
a bit
what
depressed.
The problem is. Yeah.
I'm feeling a bit down.
Did you notice there how I said, you look a bit down, and then I said, what's up? Prepositions are tricky in English, aren't they? So to be down is to be depressed. But what's up is nothing to do with movement. It just means what's wrong.
And apart from what's up, what's wrong when someone looks depressed or in a bad mood, you could also say, what's the matter? You look a bit sad. What's the matter? What's happened? What's wrong? The next expression we have for you is, it's up to you. It's up to you, which means it's your decision. To give you an example, you could be speaking to your dad and you say, Dad, I'm going to leave university. I'm going to stop studying and become a rock musician. And your dad might say, what, Reza?
Well, that's up to you, son. That's up to you. That means it's your decision. Or they could also say, perhaps, suit yourself. Meaning, well, you make the choice you like. Or perhaps, on your head be it. So if something is on your head, that means the consequences are for you to handle. On your head be it. Can you think of any other, Craig?
You could say it's your funeral, which means I'm not very confident this is going to have a good outcome for you. I don't think this will work. It's a bad idea. So in a very negative way, you could say, well, it's your funeral. Go ahead and do it, but I don't think it will work. Suit yourself is also used when you want to express annoyance. Imagine you've had an argument with your wife or your girlfriend or your husband or your boyfriend, and one person says, oh, that's ridiculous. I've had enough. I'm going to the pub. The other person might say, suit yourself. Suit yourself. Do what you want. It's up to you.
Craig, how might you respond if your mom said to you, haven't you finished cleaning your room yet?
Oh, Mum, give me a break. Give me a break, which means leave me alone. Leave me alone. Give me a break. You can use this expression to tell someone to stop bothering you or treating you badly or unfairly.
So you're not actually asking for time without work. Don't confuse it with to have a break. If you have a break, that means you stop working temporarily. It doesn't mean that. It means leave me in peace. Stop annoying me. You can also use this expression if you don't believe someone or you're just disgusted about what someone has said or done. For example, if I said to you, Craig, some people say that England is the best football team in the world.
Oh, give me a break. England isn't even the best football team in the UK. So in a similar way there, you could substitute, you must be joking. That's not true. Don't be ridiculous. Give me a break. You must be joking.
Craig, you and I, we're no spring chickens anymore.
What does that mean?
Spring chickens means, it's a funny way of saying young, but we all say that we are not spring chickens. So when you're no longer young, you're not a spring chicken anymore. Quite often when you get to our time of life, you like to talk about
One foot in the grave.
One foot in the grave, yes. Thank goodness podcasts last forever, because Craig and I aren't going to last forever, but hopefully the audios do. And some days we like to reminisce about early years. Craig, can you think of any good expressions to reminisce, to remember things how they used to be?
When I talk about things a long time ago, I might use the expression back in the day. Back in the day. Do you remember, Reza? Back in the day, we used to listen to music on cassettes on a Sony Walkman. Do you remember that?
I do. Back in the day, yeah. Back in the day, yeah. Not now. What a pity. Those days have gone.
So it's a long time ago, in the past. You could also say in my day. In my day meaning when I was a younger person, when I was younger. In my day, I used to work on the engine of my car myself. But now they're very complicated. They have computer chips. It's very difficult to fix and repair cars. But in my day, or back in the day, when I was younger, I used to do my own car repairs.
Yeah, and Craig, most couples these days, they seem to meet through these internet dating sites, meeting and all these, I don't know what they're called, yeah, Tinder, all of that. But in my day, when I was a lad, we went on the pool in bars and clubs. Do you remember?
What does on the pool mean?
On the pool means ligar in Spanish, so looking for a prospective boyfriend or girlfriend on the pool.
I remember that.
Back in the day. If you do that now, people almost think you're weird. They would look at you like, hey, are you coming on to me? To come on to a person is like, you look like you want to pull them. Yeah, to start a romantic relationship with them and think, why didn't you just get in touch through an internet app? But back in the day, no internet, you had no choice but to boldly just go for it.
Well, back in the day, people didn't have mobile phones. These days, it's very difficult to start a conversation in the street or in a cafe or in a bar because everybody's looking at their mobile phones and you feel like you're interrupting them. But back in the day, people seemed more open. It was easier to start a conversation. Reza, should we have a coffee break after this podcast or should we record one more?
I'm easy, Craig.
What, you mean podcasting's easy or I didn't understand?
Podcasting's not as easy as it might seem to some people. No, when I say I'm easy, I mean I don't mind. I'm not fussy. Whatever you want, Craig. I have no particular preference. I'm easy.
How would you translate fussy into Spanish for our Spanish speakers out there? Is it especial?
Yeah, especial or tiquismiquis or particular.
Tiquismiquis.
Something like that.
Yeah. I'm not fussy. I'm easy.
And Craig, would you prefer the chocolate brownie with your coffee or the chocolate fudge cake?
I'm easy. You can give me a bit of both to taste.
I thought Craig would be easy about chocolate. If it was chocolate or non-chocolate, he would be very clear about which. But if it's chocolate A or chocolate B, he's easy.
Reza, you've lived in Valencia for a number of years, more than 20, I'm sure. And I think you know it very well. But would you say you knew Valencia like the back of your hand?
I'm not sure I would go that far. I know it very well, but not like the back of my hand. Like the back of my hand means very, very, very well, basically better than anybody, or as good as anybody else. There are still a few neighborhoods I don't know that well. What about you?
The same as you. I'm fairly knowledgeable about some areas, some neighborhoods of Valencia, but there are other neighborhoods that I definitely don't know like the back of my hand. But I know you know the bus routes in Valencia like the back of your hand. You know them very, very well.
I do. And in fact, years ago, when I lived in Berlin, I used to know the metro network there like the back of my hand. Can you see a bit of a pattern there, listeners? Obsessed with
public
timetables. Yeah, public transport. Well, if you don't have a car, you have no choice, really. Actually, now I do have a car, but for most of my life I haven't. So I've made it an important objective always to become very familiar, like the back of my hand, with public transport timetables and routes.
The problem about owning a car where you live in your area of Valencia is that if you move it to go somewhere, when you come back, you've lost your parking space in the street and you could be driving around for a week looking to park it again.
Yeah. In my neighborhood, in fact, when you get in your car ready to drive off, to drive away, it's very, very unusual for you to be able to do that without somebody already stopping looking for your space. As soon as you get into your car, someone has stopped behind you and they're asking you, are you going? Because I want your space. If you get more than 10 seconds to do that, you're lucky.
And it's interesting, that expression, because in Spanish, I believe it translates as la palma, so the palm of your hand. So it's the opposite. In English, we say, I know it very well. I know it like the back of my hand. Do you know Belfast like the back of your hand?
Yes, I would say so. And I wonder if Carla does now. Let us know, Carla.
Our next expression is check it out, which means have a look. See if you like it. Test it to see how good it is. For example, hey, Reza, I've finished this painting. Check it out. What do you think?
It's not the same as check out of a hotel then.
No, it's not the same as check out of a hotel. Check out is a phrasal verb which means to leave, and check it out has the pronoun in the middle. So you have three words, check it out. And notice the pronunciation. When those three words go together, check it out. Check it out.
The next expression is, do you get my drift? Or you could also say catch instead of get. Do you catch my drift? And it means, do you understand what I'm saying? Can you think of an example, Craig?
Someone could say, Reza doesn't exactly look like George Clooney. Do you catch my drift?
What do you mean by that? Yes, I do catch your drift.
I mean it as a compliment because George Clooney is 60 years old and you look a lot younger.
If you say that I don't exactly look like George Clooney, it's a nice way of saying George Clooney perhaps has more admirers than me. But Craig doesn't want to say that so directly. That's why he says, do you catch my drift? He's like saying, I think you know what I'm saying, but don't oblige me to say it overtly because, I wouldn't like to offend anybody.
So yeah, do you catch my drift? Do you get my drift means do you understand what I'm saying? So we hope you've found these expressions useful. We'll quickly recap, revise, go back and say these expressions from the beginning. And again, if you want to look at these expressions written, go to the show notes for the episode that you can find at inglespodcast.com/383. Reza, what was the first expression?
The first expression was, what's up? Or what's wrong? Or what's the matter? Whenever there seems to be a problem and you want to know what the problem is.
And if someone asks your opinion, you could say, well, it's your decision. And the expression for that is, it's up to you. Or suit yourself. Or on your head be it if you think it's a bad decision. Or it's your funeral.
If somebody's annoying you and they won't stop, you might say, give me a break.
Back in the day, children used to play in the street all the time, and now they just look at their mobile phones and play video games.
The next expression was, I'm easy. And it doesn't mean that you can beat me easily, like I'm not a good opponent. It means, I don't mind. I'll do whatever you want to do. I'm not fussy. I'm easy.
If you come to visit, I'll take you around the city because I know the centre of the city like the back of my hand.
And if you do come to Valencia, you've got to go to the Malvarosa beach. It's really nice. Check it out. So to check something out means have a look at it and see if you like it or not.
And if you found this episode useful, please tell a friend to get more people listening to our podcast. Do you catch my drift? Do you understand what I'm saying? Thank you very, very much for listening. And now it's your turn to practice your English. You can send us a voice message by going to speakpipe.com/inglespodcast.
You could write to us if you like by email. You could write to Craig. You'll find him at this address, craig@inglespodcast.com, or to me, belfastreza@gmail.com.
And if you're interested in buying a paid course to help you with your English, you can find a wide selection of courses on the Mansion Inglés website. Go to store.mansioningles.net.
As always, we'd like to thank those people who are helping us through the Patreon scheme. That's Patreon. What they do is, for as little as $1.20 per month, they donate that money, and as a thank you, they get instant access to our recent audio transcriptions. If you're interested, have a look at patreon.com/Inglespodcast. There's a link in the notes, and we'd be very, very thankful if you decide that you want to become a sponsor.
And before we go, we'd like to welcome our new Patreon supporters who have recently joined us, and they are Jorge Alberto Borda, Luis Flores, Jesus Villamajo, Mariam, who's very generously donated more than the minimum $1.20, and Enrique Gonzalvo, who has recently increased his amount of support. Thank you very much to you and to all our Patreon sponsors.
Craig, what's on next week's episode?
Well, I'm easy. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be talking about next week, so we would love to hear from you and get your ideas and suggestions. But there will be a podcast next week. Thank you very much for listening this week. Until next time, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
The music in this podcast is by Pitts. The track is called See You Later.